Osmosis, a three-pointer, looking to continue a career day, and she knocks it down.
Gets the fast break layup and one.
From the studios of 95.7 The Spin.
Who lays it up and in through the contact of Baylor. What a finish from Emma DeHart. Wasn't even looking at the basket when she threw it up.
Back-to-back three-pointers off back-to-back possessions for the Screaming Eagles.
It's The Stein Show with USI women's basketball head coach, Rick Stein.
Lays it up and in, Addie Blackwell, and one.
95.7 The Spin presents The Stein Show, the weekly coaches show with head women's basketball coach Rick Stein. In this episode, we have a special guest coming in with Coach Stein and myself. It's the USI assistant coach, Randa Gatling. Just to give a background, Randa was a part of the USI women's basketball team mid-90s, early 2000s, went on to be the assistant coach later on under Coach Stein during her whole career, and she's got more than you might think. She's a pretty great person, very great coach. We're going to learn a little bit more about her in just a second. I'm going to get Coach Stein and Randa here in just one moment, and we're going to start the Stein Show. Welcome, Coach Gatling, Coach Stein. It's really great to have the both of you in a Zoom meeting together, even though you guys probably see each other enough throughout the week. But I just want to talk a little bit about Randa's background with USI. Coach Stein, your background with as an assistant with Coach Gatling, was your former player. But this first question will go out to Coach Gatling. Coach, first off, why did you come to USI to play basketball?
Oh, you're taking me way back. You know, it's been like 20-something years since I've –
You don't look a day over 23.
Thank you. No.
He never says that to me, Randa, so I don't know. I never get that one.
That's okay. You still look great, Rick. You still look great.
Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks.
USI kind of was a no-brainer for me. I'm from Evansville, Indiana. I have a pretty big family, so I'm very family-oriented. So to have the opportunity to go to college and stay here in town and still be close to my family, and Coach Stein gave me that opportunity to do so, it was a no-brainer. So one of the best, decisions I made as a young adult. We had a great career, my 4 years with USI. Obviously, I've got some lifelong friends that I still talk to. So it's one of those things where it was a great decision. It was the best decision for me considering how family-oriented I was. And then I ended up gaining another family with my USI basketball family. So I've been lucky. I've been lucky and blessed.
And for you, Coach Stein, what really struck your eye with Randa as a player?
Well, I've said this. I've told the story many a times, and I think even you and I talked about it in one of our earlier shows. I only remember Randa missing one practice during her 4-year career, and it was the worst practice we had in those 4 years. We had a great team every year she played. She was obviously a major factor and an integral part in success and winning 100 games and only losing 16 and playing for championships and winning championships and going to a final game and all the above. But her what she brought every day with her outside of her skill. I mean, obviously a good player that helped us on the court in a lot of different ways because of her skill. Really a tremendous defender, got after the ball in so many different ways. Ran, basically a point and a two guard and a point guard for us, so could really, fill some really tough, scenarios because not everybody can play two positions, and she, it's hard to do. It's hard to be a 1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 1, and she did both. But her intensity, her communication level, every day she was ready. Every day she was prepared, and every day she was there to help others and pick others up. Not a cheerleader, but a leader. And again, I think she brought that when she came here a little bit, and then it just grew. I think once she got a comfort level here and started to see how she fit in and got comfortable, then we saw the best of her, daily, and it obviously helped to have a lot of success, not only on the court but off the court too, and in our community. Obviously, like she just said, a local, a local student athlete that was given back to the community back then and continues to do right now also, and obviously our community's I think better off because of it.
And Coach Gatling, was it always going to be USI that you were going to play for basketball?
Pretty much. I mean, I had some goals. What they call a vision board. I did a vision board when I was in high school. And one of my goals was always to try to play college basketball, or at least put myself in a position to do so. We were, I come from a single parent home, and for me to be able to go to college, I was one of the first people in my family to go to college. So, I mean, that was a huge goal for me. So for me to have an opportunity to do that at home was pretty darn cool.
And Coach Stein, really, how important was Randa as a basketball player through her 4 years at USI?
Well, again, everybody's important. We say that all the time, and obviously the mindset of what that team was and how that team came together. I think she was extremely important in how close that group was. Our talent level was good, but talent doesn't always win. And what we did in those 4 years, had a lot to do with great people and great teammates and really caring about each other and working for each other. That team was about, her 4 years was about sacrifice. So there was a lot of sacrifice along the way. Players sacrificed minutes so others can get more. And we knew that it was going to help us down the stretch run. They sacrificed shots or points or whatever it is. And that's what great teams do. And I think that obviously that's Coach G's character anyway. That was Randa's character. She didn't have to get pushed to give. She didn't have to get pushed to say, man, we need to sacrifice here, Randa. You need to do this or do that. I think that was in her nature, and I think those things spread. That stuff spreads within team and team building and team bonding and great teams, man. They have lifelong lifelong relationships. Those are lifelong friends, and Coach just said a minute ago about the friends she made. The 4 outstanding teams that won championships, played for great things, and that group is still close, and that's pretty cool.
And I want to get some history going. I did my homework on Randa. Tournament appearances in all 4 years as a player, GLVC championship in 3 of those years, and a team captain as well. And like Coach Stein said, 100 wins as a player, over 100 wins as a player, only lost 16 games. You could arguably say this is one of the better stretches as a player has had at USI. What's your opinion on that?
I was lucky. Gonna have a little luck along the way, But no, Coach Stein and that staff at the time, they put together some great teams. And like Coach Stein was talking about, sacrifice is definitely it. We were stacked like all the time. And as that coaching staff put us together, they put forth a lot of high expectations for us. And they put together some players that were just, winning was all we wanted to do, period. We wanted to work hard. We wanted to win for each other. We trusted each other. And like I said, Coach Stein and that staff just brought in so many players that were just determined and committed and bought in to what the coaching staff was telling us from day one. And then, it just kind of kept building. You start off with some freshmen and they're bought in, and then they pass it along to the other freshmen that come in, and then they pass it along to the others. And it was just, the coaching staff set the precedent pretty high, and we ran with it. And like I said, I guess I was just lucky to be around that time, and I was lucky to be recruited during that time. And I had a lot of fun. We worked hard. We won games. We, again, like I said, we trusted each other, sacrificed for each other. And again, with any team, everything wasn't perfect. I'm not trying to say I was perfect 4 years and rainbows and sunshine, but the sacrifice was there, right? And the commitment was there. And we all knew what we were there to do. We had a common goal. And that's what we stuck by, right? That's what we stuck.
And Coach Stein, can you agree with her 100% on what she said?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, Randa was living it, and her perspective at the time was different. Obviously as a player, you're looking at things differently than she looks at it right now. As a coach, I certainly as a coach, I feel good about some of the things she's saying, because that means that you're putting things in the right perspective and putting things in the right way. Obviously, that was at the time. Coach Dugan was really, when Coach Dugan came in, the program was really just in despair. I mean, it was at the bottoms. It was the bottom of JLVC in a program that couldn't win, and the mindset was right away to put ourselves in a position. She talked about win a national championship, but to do that you got to bring in the right. You got to bring in great student athletes. You got to bring in the right people and outstanding people who care about it. And that, I think that was our whole mindset in recruiting was, obviously, I mean, there's, some of the greatest players of USI's history, of our league's history, played on that team. I mean, on those teams, and a lot of the credit has to go to them as players, but the team, though, I think just how they thrived off of each other, and you always want to, put teams in positions to have success. And that's the depth on those teams was, like Coach said, there was just no bad players. And every day you had to come in, and if you didn't come in ready to go, you were going to get your butt kicked in practice every day. And obviously those are things that we always try to, simulate. You'll want to have depth. You want to have great players from top to bottom. And I certainly think that's, helped, as we've moved forward into the 2000s and into our 2020s and whatnot, to keep having, a group that's deep and cares about winning. And I think that's a good standard, those 4 years of how it started.
And Coach,
I remember when Coach Stein would bring in recruits, and, they would bring in some recruits to play with us. And those were like, it was like, Coach Stein likes to say this all the time, like sharks on chum, right? So, so we would make sure, as a player, they're going to come in, they better be ready. They better be, they better be ready to come into an environment that hates to lose. So when they would bring in players, we'd be like, we gonna kill her, we gonna show her what it's like to be here. So if she deserves to be here, she gonna be here,
Yeah, well said, because and I think that's a pretty good point, because it tells how important our team is in recruiting players. And we, obviously, when you're coming into a situation, you want to know who you're playing with and what matters, and certainly what the goals are. But then also, as players currently on our team, we want them to fill us in on hey, this is a really good one. This one, it fits great. She wants to win. She's all about, championships and cutting down some nets. And so that, that recruiting thing is something that we all do together. And obviously, I think with what Coach just said there, it certainly shows how important even the team is and the players on the team are to that recruiting process.
Yeah. Coach Gatling, it's been a little bit since graduation at USI. What was your overall goal after graduating from the university?
My overall goal was to, I got my degree in social work. So my overall goal was to get out in the community and start just getting my hands dirty, right? I wasn't so much worried about making a lot of money as much as I was being satisfied in what my job entailed, right? So I was working at the YWCA, it's a women's battered shelter. I was working some hours there. I was also working at Premier Video. It's that 20-something stage where you're trying to figure out what your life is going to be like, And I had also was coaching a freshman basketball team at Central High School. It's where I graduated high school from. and it was their very first freshman team. So, you know, they brought me in to coach this team, and I was just doing it because, you know, when you get out of college, you've got somebody telling you what to do, when to do, where to be every minute of the day, right? So I still had a year left of academics, and I was done with basketball, and I'm like, what the heck do I do with myself? You know, so I was trying to fill all those minutes, right? So I was coaching a freshman team at Central High School. I was working at the YWCA, right? I was finishing up my classes, and I was working at Premier Video, right? So I was just trying to get my life together and figure out which path I wanted to take, you know. So I had a little coaching experience, but, you know, not a lot. It was high school, whatever, you know, and then I was still doing my social work thing with the YWCA, you know. So when Coach Stein had called, you know, he got the head coaching job, and he had called and, you know, and asked me if I would be interested. I was like, oh, maybe, you know.
Come on now, more than maybe, come on.
I know, I was excited. I think I told him too when I hung up, because I was at work at Premier Video. So about this time, I was strung out like on life, you know. And when he called, I was like, you know, I was at work. I was a supervisor, you know. I hung up and I went back in the office. And I was like, I think I'm going to coach basketball. You know, I was always so excited to have some purpose, you know. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, you know. And Coach Stein even told me too, he was like, look, just try it for a year. You don't like it, that's fine. Let's try it out, you know. He knew more about if I was going to be good at the job than I did at that time, right? So, you know, so I mean, and shoot, 20-something years later, I'm still doing it. So, you know, was it part of the plan? Maybe not when I first got out, but it's the best plan that could ever work out for me. So I'm glad, you know, Coach Stein called. I'm glad, you know, an opportunity to have that taste and still have that competition and be around the sport I love, and I'm pretty blessed to still be doing it. So.
And Coach Stein, did you always think that Randa would be by your side for this many years as an assistant?
He probably like, dang, can I get rid of this girl?
I've been trying to get rid of her for years, man. No, I'm playing. You know what? You know what? I look at it this way. When I got here in 1989, did I think I'd still be here in the year 2020? Absolutely not. I thought I'd be here 2 years, get my degree, and then go home. I didn't know anything else. Crete, Illinois. I was going back there. You know, what I found is that you got to put yourself in a position where you can have success and go where the going's good. Where is it good? And when I got here, it was good. And it doesn't. I'm not saying it was easy. What I'm saying is it fit, and it was a great fit. Obviously, I grew up in the program, and so did Randa. You know, Coach G grew up in the program, you know, to still have her around is outstanding. It's outstanding for us and our program, for our young women in our program to be able to, you know, have her as obviously a mentor in a lot of different ways, and her experiences obviously help the cause, you know, because she's been through those things that our players are going through right now. I think, you know, and not just been through, but she's been through them here, you know, and I think that's pretty cool. I draw on those experiences that I've had also to help that cause. You know, when I called Randa, you know, I talked to her about, I've talked to her work ethic, unbelievable as a player. And even she just told you she was working 3 jobs and going to school at one time. No problem with work ethic. You know, what I talked to her about at that time was, you know, not about a career and a career that I thought would fit her great for life. And she would fit great into it for life, and not just a job. You know, I'm talking about a life, you know, a lifetime, yeah, you know, career. And I think that once she got in with it, I think she saw the great possibilities, obviously, but also how she fit and how much fun it can be, but how much work it is and how tough it is, but also how she can use her background, you know, even as a social work major, how much does that come out into play with what we do every day? There's so many you know, things that happen with both our majors that we certainly use in sport, but we wear a lot of hats and yeah, you know, when it comes to the length of her time here, how blessed am I? How blessed is our program to still have her? I can't even say it. There's no words can state, because obviously I think consistency matters. Consistency of coaches and what we're doing. Her passion and her love for our program. I've told you in one of our early interviews, Nate, was, I've only hired our former players, and I think there's a reason. It's just because I know how they feel about it. They feel just like I do, and I certainly think Randa feels the same way I do about this university, our athletics department, all of our programs here, but especially our women's basketball program. So again, how blessed do I feel to still have her here, tremendously, and hopefully we got a long stretch yet to go. Hopefully there's a lot more to go. So.
And Coach Gatling, I just want to clarify, how many years have you been coaching under Coach Stein?
I've been
1999. Let's add them up.
Right, since 99, since 1999. Yeah. Since
Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies, right?
Holy moly. Yeah. 1999.
And I also want to make sure that people know, because as an assistant coach, you have more than just one hat. What exactly do you do as the assistant coach?
Well, there's a lot that comes with dealing with 18 to 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
Young ladies. So, but yeah, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for my girls. I tell you that. There's nothing I wouldn't do for our team. So, obviously with day-to-day stuff in terms of practice, to kind of get specific, obviously with, working with guards, I work with the post a little bit, some too, when Coach Stein lets me. That's kind of a bonus, Get my hands on the post players. I'm like, yeah. So, that's
you got to see this up. You got to see this up and under move Coach G has, man. It's patented. She can score on anybody that's up and under the post.
You can ask any of our players, former players, any of them, every time. So
Absolutely.
Just so you know, yeah. I help with academics, keeping them on track and everything, making sure everybody gets a chance to graduate. That's why they're here. And again, like I said before, there's nothing I wouldn't do for our team. So, as an assistant, you're on call 24/7, right? And that's kind of part of my training, in clinical social working and counseling. I love that part about it. They come in and they can talk to me about anything, right? Whatever's going on in the classroom, whatever's going on in their social life, whatever's going on just with friends and family, So they know they can talk to me. They can trust to talk to me about anything. So as an assistant at this level, you just have to be ready for anything, ready for everything. Obviously I do some of the recruiting as well. We do that as a staff. I do some of the scout work and help us get prepared for our opponents, which do that together as a staff too. So there's again, if I need to sweep the floor, I'll sweep the floor. If I need to get water, I'll get water. If I need to sanitize my hands and wipe off some stuff, I'll do that too. So there's nothing I wouldn't do for our team. And if there's something that needs to be done to help us to be better every day and to help prepare coach to do his job every day, then I'm going to do it.
Coach Stein, how important is Coach Gatling's job?
Well, heck, Nate, I wouldn't even been on the Zoom meeting today if she wouldn't have reminded me about it. So she's keeping me in line, keeping me in order for dang sure. Here's the thing. I think when you hear about all the things she just said about all the hats that she wears and all the things that involved in, and that's one of the things I thought, even as assistant coach. I was blessed to be an assistant coach here for Coach Dugan, and she brought me under her wing and taught me a lot of different things. But just the abilities to do so many different things. I don't think that assistant coaches at maybe a Division I level get a chance to get their hands on as much as maybe we do, because we have to. We have less staff. Randa's never been shy to get involved with anything. To not, to, like she said, get her hands dirty, get in there and do whatever it takes. Obviously, the I think that those things have helped well-round her as as an overall basketball coach, but as an overall leader too, because you have your hands on so many things. One of the things, obviously, we talk recruiting and how important that is, and Randa's our recruiting coordinator and has been for a lot of years, and obviously success comes with getting great student athletes in here. So how important is that part? Huge. And like she said, we're all involved in it, but somebody's got to be kind of lead the pack and coordinate it, and she does a great job there. But as a head coach, one of the things that obviously there's so many words that come into play as when I think of assistants, when it comes to loyalty and honesty and trust and those kind of things. She fills all those boxes. But one of the things that I like in our staff, and I can say this about Carp too, but we're talking about Randa right now, is that when I ask them a question, when I throw something out, when they have ideas, it's not just they're not just telling me what I want to hear. It's not, hey, what do you think Coach Stein wants to hear? Okay, tell him that. Hey, yeah, whatever you think, Coach, we'll do that. I know that when I ask or if they have something to say, I'm going to get honest and true answers, and then that it's not a yes person. It's a person that's really going to give good advice, have good ideas, and because I think those come from everybody. Heck, why have a staff if you're not going to? Why do you have assistant coaches? You're not going to utilize them, and I think it's real important that they understand that they've been that way. And of course, as a head coach, then I got to piece it together. What are you going to use or not use? How do you put things together? But I trust what's coming out of Randa's mouth and Carp's mouth too, of course. But just to know that I have two assistants that are thinking, as much about what's going on in our program and the success of it as I do. And yeah, how important. I don't know if I can stress it more than that, but extreme importance for a lot of years.
And Coach Gatling, this is a question that I am personally very curious about. Have you ever thought of taking on a head coaching job?
It kind of comes and goes, it goes with kind of like what Coach Stein was talking about. You kind of go where the going's good, and God, it's good here. It's good here. When I first started coaching career, I was just trying to get my feet wet. I was trying to figure out exactly what this profession was and what I was expected of and how I could perfect the craft, who I could learn from, what I could learn. I was just trying to just swallow it all in, right? Learning from Coach Stein, reading some books, learning from other coaches, watching film, watching NBA, watching whatever, just trying to just take in and be a sponge, take in everything that, the profession was about, and then kind of once I started feeling a little more comfortable, I thought, okay, yeah, I can move over to that seat, They always say that it's only one chair over, but it's a different type of feel, right? So you do get into that point where, you feel comfortable enough to be like, okay, I can do that. I can start aspiring to be that head coach, right? And then it's just right now it's like, oh, God, I keep saying blessed, but I feel blessed. I'm in a really good spot. Have I had opportunities? Yes. But if an opportunity is not going to give me at least the minimum of what I'm getting now with our administration that's very supportive from top, from president and athletic directors supportive, right? That program has to be top notch and as far as support from the top, as far as the camaraderie with the other sports, we get along with every coach in every sport. Soccer across country. We all get along, right? We all have a mutual respect for each other. And it's just, and with USI and its growth, right? Every year we're growing. They're innovative. This university is innovative and it's ever changing for the student, right? So you don't get that everywhere either, so it's one of those things where if I'm gonna jump ship, it better be a huge cruise ship that's like made of gold, right? Because because
Man, she was telling you some good things. She was recruiting you there. I mean, she was throwing out some good stuff. She went in recruiting mode. Man, she pulled out all stops on you. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, have the opportunities been there? Yes. Do you look into? Yes. But at the same time, I got coaches that are jealous of me, head coaches that are jealous because I've been with this university for over 20 years and I've got a really good position, right? I mean, so, I like where I'm at. I appreciate where I'm at. I'm still growing. Things are still changing. Nothing's ever the same, right? So I'm satisfied. My cup is full.
Coach Stein, this question is not wanting to sound like you want to get rid of Randa, but this question is, have you ever influenced her to find a head coaching job?
Well, here's the thing. I think could Randa be a head coach? Absolutely. Coach G's ready to be a head coach whenever that time comes. Here's the thing, and she talked about moving overseas. When I took over the head coaching job here in 1999, I thought I was 100% ready and ready to go too. But one of the things that we all find is that there's always going to be things that happen that we didn't know could happen, or see things that we didn't know we could see, or things that come across our plate. But as coaches, we are always learning. As coaches, we are always going through different situations. And heck, we're learning from each other. We're learning from other people, other coaches. Like she said, you're watching different things, whether it's the skill of it, or hey, what's that team running, or whatever it is, or how they handle a certain situation. What I would want for any of my assistant coaches, and obviously we've had some that have come in and they moved on to do different things. Some still coach, some head coaching, some assistant coaching, some have moved on to different things. To me, it is, whenever they're ready to move on and that's exactly what they want, then man, I'll do everything I can to help it. And I've told that, to Coach G from day one. And believe me, here's the thing. A lot of times people think the grass is greener and oh man, a different level, or go do something else. And I've been asked those same questions. Hey, D1 and this and that. And I say, well, what does that have to do with success and winning? Because I think we can do things here that most that half Division I couldn't even think about doing, because we're at the top, percentage of a Division II program and things that are going on. She talked about the importance of our administration and how they feel about our programs. It's amazing the support that we get from our administration, from our faculty and people that come to games. Some of the same professors that I had in the classroom are still in the gym. They're still in the arena coming in and supporting our teams. It's pretty amazing. If and when that time comes, Randa says, that's what I want to do. I'm ready to go do that. Great. I think what I think in coaching, what we get out of the whole big picture is more than just wins and losses. And obviously wins are really important here. We want to win and we want to play for championships, but the overall experience, I think that is huge. And that's something we get here as coaches. And I think our players get here also as student athletes, that great overall experience, that what this community, our on-campus, the USI community, but also this entire Evansville, community can bring. And it's fun to be a part of. It's not easy all the time. And she said that it's not always easy. Even the greatest team she played on were always easy. But boy, it's been great to be a part of, a great experience to have it. And I understand where she's at. I understand why she wants to stay with it and be a part of it, because heck, let alone, she got her fingerprints all over it and all the success we've had for the last, 20, going on 22 years. I'm adding this up here, going on 22 years of coaching, but also those 4 years as a player. There's a lot of W's in there. There's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of nets getting cut down, a lot of championships that we've been a part of, but also just been a part of a lot of outstanding, young women, in their lives, and helping them to grow and get ready for whatever's going to happen after USI. And I think that certainly is, that just shows a lot about what USI is all about.
You two have spent quite a bit of time together, 20 plus years, coach, player, every sort of aspect. You guys have spent a lot of time together. Randa, what are some of your favorite memories with Coach Stein?
If she's got any. This might take her a while to think of these.
No, it take me a while to list them all. I mean, really, we've had some really good times together. You have to remember, recruiting, we've been in the car for hours together. We've been on a bus for hours together. We can give each other a hard time. And I mean, we punch where it hurts sometimes. Well, you look crazy today, whatever, joke around with each other and not take it personal. I mean, we've had some really good time, even during some of the tough times. I mean, he lets me listen. I can get, I'm passionate. Let me just say that. I'm passionate about some things, he lets me get passionate about that.
Is that the word? Passionate?
Yeah. I'm using that word.
Sure. I like that.
How I feel about things, So we've had some, even within the challenging times, there's still good times, right? Because we don't stop learning from each other. We don't stop learning about each other. And I think one of the best things that I love about Coach Stein is he does show how much he appreciates you. You'll get a text about thanks for being such a great friend. And it separates it from work, right? So you can separate it from work and you can separate it from personal, but you still feel like you have this great friendship that you built, and it's something that's bigger than basketball, bigger than working with them for 22 years or whatnot. So, it's somebody that you work with hand in hand, side by side for such a long time, and you still feel appreciated for those years, and you stick around for a little bit longer, right? So we've had a lot of good times. I don't even have time to list them all.
She couldn't think of one. Come on. I'm playing. I'm kidding.
And
can't share them on here. Probably can't share them on.
And how about for you, Coach Stein? Is there a specific memory that sticks out to your head with Coach Gatling?
I don't. There's absolutely no way you could pinpoint one thing or one time or even a handful. Obviously, when you I think back to even the times when she was a player here, and I was a young assistant coach and coaching her and how fun that was, but also just how even at times she made it kind of easy, but also even as an assistant coach and how much fun we've had throughout the years when it comes to successes both on and off the courts. I think Randa said it pretty good right there. I obviously we're colleagues. She's my assistant coach, but I think over this amount of time, we're great friends, and to be able to work, with someone and people that you certainly can call friends and not just colleagues or assistant coaches. I think that matters, and obviously we work our tails off to make things great and help our young women to succeed and all the above, but we can have a good time doing it too, and enjoy the experience and certainly enjoy the friendship that we've built for many years, and it's it's not a friendship that will if she went to coach somewhere else or I did or something happened tomorrow, that ain't going to end, that's not going to end at that point. It's what is one of the great things about sport, I think, and I just said it earlier about great teams and successful teams are friends forever. But I certainly think that in my coaching, it certainly has been the exact same thing as far as lifelong friendships. Working with great people. When I was an assistant coach, lifelong friendships, and now as a head coach, the same way. And I certainly have that with Randa.
A season is officially going to start November 27th, year 20-something for the both of you. Randa, how excited are you to be able to coach alongside Coach Stein for another year?
I'm excited, especially this year, right? Because this year, how can you describe it? It's a new norm, right? So to have to navigate your way through the challenges of this year, it's going to be one for the books. It really is. And the good thing about being able to do this with Coach Stein is the fact he's the most organized person. Like, he's going to make sure we do it. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it safe. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? So with the challenges that we have, if I miss out on something that's going on, I know he's caught it, right? Or if something happens where there's some change in policy or change in legislation or change in the way we're going to do things in our daily practices or change in the way we're going to do things as a conference or whatever the case may be, it feels really nice to be able to count on your leader, right? You got to be able to count on your leader in times like this. And Coach Stein is our leader. So I know he ain't going to miss nothing. So, I think this is going to be one for the books. To be able to navigate through all these challenges, right? And to still play some ball, still make sure our girls have a great experience as, student athletes and with the USI women's basketball program and win at the same time. Don't forget about that, and win is going to be it makes this year even more exciting. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some frustrations going on. We all know some underlying frustrations. Things are different. Coach Stein knows I don't do change very well. It baffles me a little bit, but it makes it a little more exciting to do this with him this year because the adversity that we have to go against. So.
And how about you, Coach Stein? How excited are you to be able to coach next to Randa for another year?
I knew she'd come up with that. I was a little surprised. I think she just said I was organized. I don't know how. Like I said, I dang near didn't get on the Zoom meeting today, but I'm writing that down. The date you said I was organized. Okay.
It's certain situations.
We obviously I think that's something that in our work together for so many years. We understand strengths and weaknesses and how to get the most out of each other in those kind of ways and how to prepare for different things and the expectations that we have, obviously not just for our team but for the daily scenario of it. Are we in a different world right now? Absolutely. And I said this a few weeks ago, and it was just, boy, when that schedule came out, we found out that we're actually got games and it looks like we're going to have a chance to play. It's super exciting, time to hear that, and to know that every day we're preparing for something that is hopefully called a season. And with that said, we got to be ready for change. We got to be flexible. Different things are coming at us. What the season's going to look like, how we're going to do different things, and again, I think as coaches, we always try to stay on top of it and be prepared for whatever might be coming next. But also, you got to stay flexible and have your team ready. And I think that's been really important for us at the start of this year, and I think it's going to be really important for this next month as we get ready for that first game, and but also the next. Hopefully, to November, December, January, February, March. Hopefully, the next 5 months that has us playing, deep into March and hopefully playing for some championships along the way. So again, that's those are things that's the daily stuff, and those are things where we work hard to make sure we're prepared, so our team is prepared, and it's exciting to get this thing moving without question. I think we're really excited. I can't be more excited about our staff with Coach G and Coach Karp and what they bring to the program, but also this group of 12 young women. I think we're off to a great start. Are we there yet? No. We got a ways to go. The good thing is we got a little bit of time in practice, and we're doing everything we can do right now to prepare for Rockhurst University on November 27th and whatever they might bring. We don't know because there's not going to be anything pre that game to watch or see. So we got to be ready for just about anything that Rockhurst might throw at us, and that's our plan right now is to be prepped and ready.
The dynamic duo, ride or die, Coach Gatling, Coach Stein. I want to thank you two very much for coming to the Stein Show. It was a blessing. I got a good laugh. That's the important thing. I got a good laugh. You two really just bring that joyous humor out of me. Makes me laugh so much.
Hopefully we can do that with some others out there to watch it. So yeah, good. Hopefully we can make somebody else smile today.
I want to thank you both for joining me today. And Coach Stein, I will see you next week. Coach Gatling, I'll probably see you around campus or at the games.
Thanks for having me.
Nate, thanks, bud.
Very much.
See you next week.
See you.